you guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today I'm going to be doing a video that I'm kind of surprised I haven't done sooner because a lot of my friends and just whoever I hang out with, they always ask me when I tell them that like I do makeup sometimes, whatever, that they're like, oh, I would love to learn how to do all of that, but I just don't know how. Well, I'm going to show you how today. So one of the most popular questions that people tend to ask me when like I talk to them about doing a full face of makeup is they don't really know how to properly highlight and contour / bronze their face. So what I'm going to do is show you guys my highlighting and contouring routine. I'm going to do it as best I can to be kind of like a universal like way of application because that makes sense, right? So that is what we are going to be doing today. So the first thing that we are going to do for the face, since I've done my eyebrows and my eyes off camera, is go in with my primer. And for me, since I have very oily skin, I am going in with the Makeup Obsession All A Blur Pore Blurring Primer Stick. This thing is huge, okay? Like, that's a lot of surface area, and it has a twist thing on the bottom so you can twist it up, get more product, all that stuff. So the way that I apply this is honestly not super sanitary, but it's kind of hard to figure out a proper way, especially when, even if you're applying it with your fingers, it just kind of feels kind of weird to me. So I literally just swipe it on. If you guys have seen me use, or like anybody use, like the Milk Makeup priming stick, which I used before, or the Makeup Revolution stick, which is also a dupe for that one. I do think that this is a pretty good dupe for the Milk Makeup stick as well. But I'm just trying to slide this on. I also try really hard to slide up so that I don't drag my face down when I apply this. And then I kind of just go with my finger and like make sure it's fully spread to all the areas that I want it to be, especially underneath my eyes. My T-zone is the most gnarly place for oil, as it usually is for oily skinned people. If you have dry skin, use a hydrating primer or like whatever primer you have that like works good for you. This is just the one that I'm using right now, but always make sure that you prime beforehand just so that your makeup has something to stick to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my damp beauty sponge. This is from e.l.f. This is literally a $3 sponge and it's one of my favorite ones I've literally ever used. So what I'm going to do first is go with my concealer. And the reason why I'm doing concealer before I go into foundation is because a lot of celebrity makeup artists do this when they're doing makeup on all the like the really big name people. Honestly, the reason I like doing it is because I started doing it a few months ago and I feel like it just makes my skin look better. Like, it just framed my face better. I don't know. It works good for me. You can always apply your highlight and contour after you put on your foundation. A lot of people do that too, but this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm taking the what am I doing here? I am taking the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Neutral. Probably could be a little bit lighter, but oh well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit like in the very inner corner of my eye, and then I'm going to put some up towards the tail of my brow bone. I can't freaking speak today. God. So I'm going to put that towards the tail of my brow bone because what this is going to do is it's going to frame your face upward and make your face look more lifted. So I'm going to put that there, and what I'm also going to do is go in with the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer in the shade Classic Ivory because it is just a tad lighter. And also the difference with this concealer is that it is more for people who have like drier skin. So I just like the combination because I feel like it makes my skin look really pretty. So where's my mirror? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to take this end of the sponge and I'm just going to go to town on my under eyes, make myself look like I'm not dead. And I like this because see how close it gets to the under part of your eye? Like, it got so in there. So, love that. And then with this part, I'm going to take this and just kind of go with it upwards. Like, see how much that's already doing? And also you can take whatever concealer you want. I like a full coverage concealer because I feel like I need to cover up more because I suck at sleeping. Or correction, I suck at going to bed early. See the difference already? Like, first of all, these concealers are so full coverage, so like that covered up literally everything. But it really brightens up your under eye. Like, that's insane. And that that lifting look, that's what we're going for. So pretty much everything today is basically about lifting the skin or making it look lifted. So now I'm just gonna do the exact same thing I did to the eye over here. And the reason why I don't go in with, like, a lot of people like to go in with that huge triangle under their eye, which is what I used to do. But this saves me so much more product. Oh, hold on, I'm stupid, I need to add this part too. This saves me a bunch of product, and it also, especially if you use a full coverage concealer, like, you don't need to be using that much because it goes such a long way. And I personally have been using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer for a really long time just because it's one of the best concealers for me personally. I have oily skin and I like fuller coverage products, so this is definitely my jam. I know a lot of people recently have been like, meh, which is fine, like, it's, you know, totally normal to want to try like other products, like I totally get that. But this one I just really like. So if you guys have any other concealers, or you have like more of a medium coverage or even like a lighter coverage concealer, like, this can still give you that nice like lifted look. It just looks a little bit more natural. Okay, so now that we have highlighted the under eyes, I'm gonna go in with my concealer and highlight the rest of the high points of my face. So a little bit on my chin, some on my nose, and then the center of my forehead. So these are the high points of your face, so these are the points that you want to highlight, which we will also talk about a little bit when I actually go in to put on my sparkle highlighter after we have everything on. What? Rude. Okay, I don't usually add concealer to like the Cupid's bow. I know a lot of people like to. I just don't. That's just my personal thing. You guys can do whatever you want. But now that I have my highlighter, my highlight, concealing, all that, now that I have all of that applied, I'm going to show you guys the cream contouring. Now, the thing with contouring and bronzing is that contouring, you tend to want it to be more on the cool tone side because that's like the shadows of your face, like, make you look snatched, you know? And then the bronzing is what just kind of warms your face. So that's not something that you want to be necessarily like in the hollow of your cheek. It's kind of like a little bit above your cheekbone, just kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain, but I will show you. So for me personally, I have been using the Huda Beauty Tantour Cream in Light. And this is a contour and bronzing cream, so you can use it for either one. It's not like specific. I use this shade because I like to have more of a cool tone contour, because I feel like that just, like, you know, makes it look really like snatched, and I like that look. So I'm gonna take a Sephora Pro Angled Contour Brush. I've had this for literally so freaking long, like, ridiculous. And then I'm just gonna take my Huda Beauty and put my brush in just a little bit. I'm going to put the contour not in the hollow of my cheekbone, but a little bit above, so that when it blends out, it'll move a little bit, and I don't want it to go so far down my face. So I'm gonna put it a little bit above and just start to pat it out. See what I'm saying? And I know this looks hella harsh right now. I promise it will not look this way when we are done. But I also like this because instead of trying to like blend it in, don't ever go like this. No. See how I'm just like kind of stippling it into the skin? For me, that is the best way that I have discovered. Everybody's skin is different, but it's just a tip from myself. So take that for what you will. And then if I feel like it goes a little bit too far to my mouth, I just blend it away a little bit. Here we go. And then of course later on I'll show you guys how to like make it look really sharp. So I'm gonna add a little bit more just because since foundation is gonna be going on top of this, I want it to be really evident right here. Also, I did a bad example of this with this side, but always try to blend upwards as much as you possibly can. I really like to contour the crap out of my chin because I have a very prominent chin. It's one of the things that I have learned to live with, but I've also learned how to make it not look so prominent. So I leave like as little highlight space as I can for my chin because I want it to look small. So now I'm gonna go in with my nose, and the thing here, I only put product on the very like tip part of this brush because like that's the only part that I would really need to apply this for. So I try to be as precise as I can with my nose. I like to put it a little bit on the top, but also on the side of the nose. So it creates that shadow to make it look smaller. A little bit on the very tip. Then we're putting that little part in between so that we can have that really cute pointy nose. So now we're gonna do our forehead. Now what I'm going to do is go in with the foundation. So before I do that, I'm just going to blend a little bit under my eyes, and just in case there was any creasing that formed, just blend it out a little bit. Fortunately, with this concealer, I really don't see much creasing, so that doesn't seem to be an issue. So now I'm going to go in with my Milk Makeup Blur Liquid Matte Foundation. And you shake it before you use it because there's a little ball in there that like mixes up all the ingredients. And then since I love that this is a squeeze tube, it's so much more sanitary. So this is a full coverage foundation, which we all know that I am obsessed with. So now I'm just going to blend that out as you normally would. Also, just to make a statement about this, so if you are applying your makeup and your face is looking like not cute, it's not necessarily the products you're working with. If you don't take care of your skin, your makeup is not going to look good on top of your skin. So make sure that you are using a good enough, or like just a skincare routine that works for you and helps you with those problems, or like anything that you're trying to focus on. So like if you're trying to get rid of like cakiness and stuff, like make sure you're exfoliating like twice a week. Make sure you're, please for the love of God, put on sunscreen. I cannot stress that enough, okay? But also just make sure that like have your skincare routine that is proper for your skin type, and make sure that you're not too sensitive to any of the stuff that you're using. B, oh my God, my hair, scarecrow. Terrifying. Okay, anyway, make sure that you're not only using a skincare system that is good for your skin, but make sure that the makeup products you are using are good for your skin type. So like the Milk Makeup foundation that I'm using, the Tarte Shape Tape that I'm using are both designated towards like oily skin because they have a relatively matte finish. Which I think is kind of funny because when I put on the Milk foundation, it looks really dewy, which at first, when I first used this, I was literally terrified. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have dewy skin, like this is not good. But it has a really pretty glow to it, and once you set it, it looks so good. Okay, so see how all the points that we contoured, you can see that they've been contoured and that there's color there, but it's not like crazy, obviously, you know? So now that we have done that, I'm going to set my face with a setting powder. I have been obsessed with the Beauty Bakery Oat Translucent Setting Powder. This is their Flour setting powder, and it is honestly so good. I don't think it has a smell, does it? No, it does not have a smell. So what I'm gonna do that I personally like to do with this particular powder is I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to put it into the powder, and then specifically for my under eyes, I am going to bake my under eyes. Not for too long, because I do have, I'm not a person that likes to bake for a super long time. I just want to do it enough so that way like it's in the skin, it looks pretty, it looks airbrushed, but it's not like causing dryness or anything like that. But like, this is a beautiful setting powder, and if you have oily skin, I 1000% recommend this. It's not that expensive. I think it's like $24. And I know compared to like some drugstore products, that's obviously kind of like, you know, it's a difference, but it's so good. It's so worth it. Now what I'm gonna do is my nose, and then I'll set the rest of my face, but I just want to show you guys how I do my nose. So just taking a little bit of powder on the tip of my sponge. It's so hard to show you. And then I'm just going to literally just go down the bridge of my nose with the powder. Boom. Okay, and then there's still some on the tip of my sponge, so I'll just push that into my chin. My chin is my biggest oily area. Like, I cannot explain enough how oily I get. I'm sure I've talked about it like several thousand times in other videos, but yeah, my chin is hella oily. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my brush and I'm just gonna set the rest of my face. This is a Morphe E48 brush. It's nice and domed, so you could use it for the for your under eyes if you want to. With this particular setting powder, I like to use my sponge for that area, but I'm just going to go in on the rest of my face and set it. Oh, powder everywhere. Ah. Something else with baking. I'm going to do the sides of my nose. I didn't do this before because I had powder in my eyes, which I probably should have done, but oh well. I'm gonna go in as close to the side of my nose as I can to make it look smaller. That was not helpful. And take the other end of my sponge and go in with that. That's better. Hey, there we go. So with the bronzer, I'm taking the Physicians Formula Sun-Kissed Butter Bronzer. This stuff smells so freaking good, you guys. Oh my god. And then I'm taking this on a Morphe M405 brush, so it's slanted. I know I've used this for bronzer clearly several times before, but what I'm gonna do is take some on the brush and very lightly, you don't need a like heavy hand, you just spread it around same places that we kind of put our contour, but a little bit higher. Okay, so I have my bronzer on. I'm going to wipe away the little bake we got on here. I did that wrong. Okay, so I finished bronzing, but I realized I totally messed up on my nose. I do this sometimes and it drives me nuts. So basically what I'm gonna show you is with bronzer, not necessarily with contour, it just kind of depends on your mood. Today I'm feeling more of the bronzer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with what I determine as my contour brush, mostly because it is more like smooth, like the synthetic hairs I like more than the natural ones on the Morphe brush. And so specifically for your nose, okay, I go in with my bronzer, right? And this is something that Nikki Tutorials actually showed on TikTok and I really liked it. So I shouldn't have been baking that whole freaking time, I'm just stupid. So what you're gonna do is you're just going to dab bronzer literally all over your nose. And this seems psychotic, but it makes sense when you do it. Oh, now what you're gonna do is use the bake. I'm sorry, I messed up, don't hate me. Please don't hate me. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is what I did before. Bake my nose. Stupid. Okay. Go down the center of your nose. Doesn't have to be an incredibly harsh line, just has to be there. Jeez, I do that seriously so many times. Like I do it and then I'm like, I wasn't supposed to do it then. So annoying. Okay, so now that that's done, everything with bronzing has been done. So now what I'm going to do is go in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Duo Medium Contour, yeah, Contour Duo and Medium. Gosh, I cannot do anything today. So I'm going to take the brush that we used for bronzer, wipe it off enough so that any of the bronzer powder comes off. Okay, chillin', good. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take some of the powder from the contour part and I'm just going to stamp it on the points of the cheeks and the cheekbones where you want it to be the shadowy part. So like this is where you put it in like the hollows of your cheeks. Okay, now I'm gonna wipe away that bake. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply our blush. Actually, I want to do that. I think I'll do highlight first. A lot of people have been doing like the highlight and then the blush because it like kind of sandwiches everything together. So let's do that. So we're gonna do our highlight today. What do we want to do? Let's go with our Laura Mercier, or excuse me, I cannot do anything right today. I'm going in with our Laura Geller. Laura Geller Dripping in Gold Illuminator Palette. We have these three beautiful shades. We have a really nice golden one, we have a little champagne-y color, and then we have this really bright, like kind of like an icy yellow, which is really pretty. I'm going to go in on my packing brush from Morphe. This is the M501. And I think I'm gonna go in with the champagne color that is called Sunbeams. I'm just gonna take a little, because a little bit goes a long way with this palette, and focus that on the upper part of my cheekbone, otherwise known as the high point of your cheekbone. So now I'm going to put some on the bridge of my nose. Blend that girl out. She came out strong, my goodness. Then a little bit on the tip of the nose. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my Milani Luminoso blush. This is a beautiful color, especially for summer. Beautiful corally peach color. And I'm just going to go in on my Morphe E4 brush and put that in between everything. So what I'm gonna do now is show you guys how I make my contour and everything look snatched. It looks pretty good without it right now, but I'm still going to do it just to show you guys. So what I like to do is I take my sponge. I'm gonna take, which side do I want to take? Let's take this side. I kind of go back and forth. I'm gonna take this side of the sponge. Oh geez, so much powder just came off. Ugh. Okay, now I'm going to go right where the jawline, your cheekbone, hollows of the cheekbone. So I have it like that because it really cuts the jawline. I keep saying jawline, oh my gosh. It really snatches your cheekbone and makes your contour look very lifted and like definitive, and I love that. So we're just gonna let that sit there for a minute. And since we are here, let's do our lower lash mascara and our lips. So I'm taking the Maybelline Lash Temptation, right? Close. Total Temptation. I am off my game today. Wow, okay. And then I'm just going to apply that to my lower lashes. I actually really like this mascara. One of my more favorite drugstore mascaras, especially for the bottom lashes. Like, this is really pretty. And it also smells really good. This is gonna sound so weird. It's infused with coconut oil to nourish your lashes, which is great as well. But don't ask me why, but to me it smells like White Claw. I know that's so strange, but it does. In keeping with the cute like nude bronzy theme we got going on, I'm going to go in with, I think this is, yeah, that works, it's fine. I'm going to be putting a gloss over the top of this product as well. This is the Lime Crime Velveteen in the shade L. If you haven't noticed, I almost always use like Lime Crime or Anastasia Beverly Hills, them or Cab Cosmetics. They're like the only people I ever really get lipsticks from. I really need to branch out. I really do. I do like Beauty Bakery's lip whips though. I have one of them and it could go with this look, but I'm gonna use this one instead. But Beauty Bakery's lip whips are really nice too. So now we have our cute little lippy on. Since we were at this point, I'm going to wipe off my bake. Just lightly wiping it away. Beautiful. Love it. Amazing. Okay, I am going to add a gloss because lately I've just been like obsessed with glosses, honestly. So, I think, what do I want to go in with here? Do I want to go in with a clear gloss? I think I'm going to go in with, that matches, the Dose of Colors On Repeat gloss. It's a really pretty like nude pink, which I think would match this really well. Oh yeah. Dose of Colors glosses are honestly so good. I love these. So the other thing too is to make sure after everything that you have done that you set your face with a setting spray, especially if you're going to be doing an all-day thing or it's really warm out, whatever your situation is. Make sure that you have a good setting spray depending on your skin type. I personally like using either the NYX setting spray, the matte one. Don't ask me why, it's just always worked really well for me. And then the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, which is what I'm going to be using right now. Also, a really good setting spray for your face that is a little bit more high-end is the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. So good, so good. Or just use hairspray. Honestly, hairspray works too. If you're balling on a budget, use hairspray. Use whatever you got lying around the house. That's safe, please. Okay. Okay, and then we're just gonna fan ourselves dry to make sure everything is gonna be stuck in place. Okay, so as you guys can tell, I am a completely different person. Obviously, highlighting and contouring shapes your face in a way that makes you look different when you wear makeup. So if somebody's like, oh my gosh, you look so different without makeup. Yes, obviously, you're gonna look different. That's what happens. Okay, you guys, so now that we have finished and I have shown you all, I hope somewhat well, how to highlight and contour your face, this is the end result. So I hope that this made sense for you guys. I'm sorry I messed up at my nose on one point, but remember, if you mess up and it looks, you just can't stand it, you can always take it off and try again. It's just makeup. Practice makes perfect, so don't feel bad if it doesn't work perfectly for you the first couple times. It is a learning process. Okay, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, make sure to always express yourself, be genuine, and be kind. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.